Well, hello and good evening. This is the 2nd of November 2023. How do I qualify for the Portugal Golden Visa with Expats Portugal? Another Expats Portugal calling webinar with Holborn Assets. And from Holborn, we've got Jason Swan with us this evening. Hello, Jason. How are you?
Hey, Carl. Very good. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. We're into winter now here in the Algarve. The clocks have gone back, so it's a bit darker in the evening. It's a bit weird, isn't it? And however, I was talking to somebody this morning from the Algarve. They said it was still 30 degrees on the beach yesterday. So that's not too bad, is it?
I don't know which part of the Algarve they're in, Carl, but I don't think it was 30 degrees for me. But,
there were tops off. People, fellas, had their tops off on the beach, and there was between the rainstorms. To be fair, between the rainstorms, there was incredibly warm sunshine. So nice to know that on the first day of November, still here in Portugal. So you're well. Apart from being very busy, before we started recording here tonight, you said you've had a very long day today. It sounds like the pressure to complete on the Golden Visa before the end of the deadline for this product is. You're up against it, basically, aren't you? And you're working hard.
Yeah. I'm not complaining too much, but yeah, it's a little chaotic at the moment. Obviously, we had the big rush for the end of the property investment option, and now the NHR. Obviously, the Prime Minister came out a couple of weeks back and mentioned about NHR being withdrawn. So there's kind of a real panic at the moment. But all is well, all is okay. Yeah. But if I'm a bit flat, please excuse me. I've been in the office quite a long time today. But
well, good on you for being here at 7:30 in the evening here in Portugal time, and here to tell us how we can still qualify for Portugal's Golden Visa. So if you will, you've got a presentation, and I'll take questions if that's possible through the Zoom technology. Certainly there'll be a Q&A at the end, and we'll get as many questions that people have to you as possible before we conclude tonight, Jason. So thank you very much. Take it away.
Yeah, super. And yeah, there's a little Q&A box. So if anyone has any questions as we go through, please do use the feature, and we'll pick them up before we finish, which is the main focus for this evening. Hopefully I can answer everyone's questions at the same time. But for those that have not joined before, my name's Jason Swan. I'm a senior partner for Holborn Assets, based here in the south of Portugal. And by day, I am a financially qualified and regulated financial planner. And by night, I am an investment citizenship expert, which is generally more my focus over recent times. But Holborn are a wealth management company. We look after in excess of $3 billion between our 20 offices globally. But around about 6 years back, we launched our program to help our clients achieve residency and citizenship by way of investment. And of course, myself being here in Portugal, I look after the Portugal and Spanish part of Holborn Assets Group. And yeah, naturally, I field the questions for the program. Portugal is not the only program that we offer. It is, of course, the one we'll focus on this evening. But for those that are just literally looking to get into a new country, maybe not too focused on Portugal, we can pick up on a separate occasion on the other programs as well. But of course, for tonight is all about Portugal. I'm going to try and cover some of the key topics. I sent an email out to everyone this morning, Carl, just with my contact details and just a bit of an itinerary for this evening, which really going to consist of kind of having a look at the basics of the program. So for those that are just joining and starting their Golden Visa journey, you can be kind of up to speed with what's involved, who it's for, and how to qualify ultimately. We'll have a look at some of the basics. I'll give everyone an update on the recent press announcement about the withdrawal of the NHR program. We're getting a lot of questions on that at the moment. And we'll look at kind of which family members can be included on the application. And I'm also very excited to introduce, of course, the new recommended investment option from Holborn in line with the new rules, which have been eagerly awaiting, Carol, for the past 6 months, backwards and forwards as to what was going to happen. But the law has now finally changed, and an update on that to follow. And yeah, main focus, as I say, we'll get to the Q&A. Everyone can fire any questions at me as we go, and we'll see.
I'll keep an eye on that, and get all those questions to you. So yeah, thank you.
Cool. Right. So the Portugal program. Portugal's Golden Visa is Europe's most popular residency program. It is the only program that allows you to get a passport, a European passport, after just 5 years. It is also the only European program that allows you to get the visa and the passport without a major minimum stay requirement. You only have to be in Portugal for 1 week every year to maintain the visa. So it's particularly popular for those that are maybe looking to retire to Portugal or move just generally in the future. It's great for those that are looking to invest for their children to get access to Europe. Of course, there are a number of benefits to come with the visa, but itself lasts for 2 years. You have unadulterated access to live, work, and sunbathe in Portugal. And every 2 years, you can renew the visa. And once you've held it for 5 years, is when you can apply for your permanent residency and your European citizenship, which is kind of the treasure at the end of the rainbow, Carl, as you know, because that is the when you can get basically 27 passports all at the same time and live anywhere that you so wish. It was introduced back in 2012. There's now been over 12,000 successful applications since the program launched. And we have done now over 10% of the world's golden visa applications, and we still maintain a 100% success rate, which is great, generally down to a lot of due diligence that we carry out on our clients, but of course, making sure that the investments that we recommend qualify smoothly as well. But yeah, they are the basics. That's what we're talking about tonight. So with that golden stamp, you get all the benefits of being a Portuguese citizen. You can have access to the Portuguese healthcare. You can have access to Portuguese education, both of which are some of the best systems anywhere in the world. Of course, you have a very nice standard of living. You have 300 days of sunshine every year. Not that you can tell. Not that you can tell by me.
Don't ask for a picture today, but yes, that's the general gist of it, isn't it? It's not one of those 300 days right now.
Unfortunately not. But more often than not, it's pretty nice. And of course, you do have the quite unique, or there has been a very unique tax regime for new residents as well, which comes under NHR, which I'll touch on in a moment. But there's kind of 3 main areas to Portugal. Again, if you're already on the webinar, you probably don't need talking into Portugal as a country too much, but the main cities that I'm kind of talking about with my clients is generally Lisbon, of course, the capital, where you'll find it is a lot more built up, a lot more cosmopolitan, kind of in the middle of Portugal. Porto up at the north of Portugal, and of course, where I am down in the south, where typically it's a little warmer. The sea's generally a little bit warmer. It's a little bit more relaxed lifestyle, I think, certainly compared to Lisbon, but you're not going to go too far wrong wherever. Of course, I am very biased because I live here. I did live in Spain for 5 years before I came to Portugal, and it's 10 times better than Spain, in my humble opinion. But yeah, so that's Portugal now. NHR, again, not the most exciting of topics, NHR, but an important one nonetheless, because it is one of the main reasons people choose to move to Portugal over other parts of Europe. And in short, there was a tax regime introduced back in 2009 for the sole purpose to try and attract the world's leading talents to Portugal. And it basically allows new residents to apply for a very low rate of tax on certain types of income. For those that are still working, whether they are employed or self-employed, they can apply for a flat rate of income tax of just 20%. You must still be working within a particular industry to qualify for that. However, for those that are drawing pension income, so if you're looking to retire or already have retired to Portugal, pension income is capped at just 10%, which is great. And as if that wasn't good enough, they will give you a full tax exemption for 10 years on any foreign dividend income or rental income as well. So those fortunate enough to be renting out the home and perhaps looking to use that rental income to support their living here in Portugal, those that have a property portfolio, those that have an investment, kind of a managed investment that pays a dividend income, all works particularly well under the NHR program. But it's not all bad news. I mean, NHR is going to come to an end very soon. There is just about enough time to meet the deadline. For those that are in a position to kind of get the ball rolling pretty quickly, we should still be okay to apply for an HR before the end of the year, which is when we're expecting the program to be pulled. But if you don't meet the deadline, don't worry. There is still the option to kind of structure your assets in a manner where you can get a 60% discount from the tax rate further down the line. So there's always going to be tax incentives to some extent, but the NHR program in particular will finish very soon, unfortunately. So those are already in the program, not to worry, because it will be grandfathered. But yeah, only applications up until the end of this year will be honoured. Okay, so new rules for this year. Eagerly awaiting the new rules, and very simple in the end. The option to invest into real estate of any kind of property, will no longer qualify for the program. Real estate has equated for probably 90% of Golden Visa applications over the past couple of years, and it was removed in what's the word? It was voted on to remove property as a potential solution to help the property housing crisis in Portugal. Property prices. Did you know, Carl, property prices are up 48% in the past?
Yeah, I did see that. It's staggering, isn't it?
It is amazing. It is. I've not seen anything like it, and it still seems to be increasing. There is also a lack of general affordable housing available of any kind in Portugal. So the removal of property investment is one of a number of different measures taken. We shall see if it has an effect. Personally, I don't think it's going to make much difference. Golden Visa transactions equate for less than 1% of all property transactions in Portugal. But who am I to say? But property will no longer qualify. So the remaining options for the visa, first of all, is you can invest into a qualifying venture capital or private equity fund. There are a few caveats to that, mainly that the investment fund must invest into at least 60% of Portuguese assets. It must also be a regulated fund as well. You can make a donation to the arts for 250,000. Funnily enough, I've not found anybody that wishes to donate €250,000 to the arts just yet. Maybe there's a few out there, but that is still an option. Donation to Portugal's technological research can be done from 500,000, and still the option to create a company and employ 10 people for a period of time, or to purchase a commercial business and employ a number of 5 staff for a period of time. The most, of course, straightforward and hands-off option of those, which doesn't result in any kind of donations to the government, is, of course, the venture capital and private equity fund option, which is the one that we're going to be focusing on and make a recommendation for. But yeah, that's the current criteria.
And you make a great distinction there, Jason. You know, I think I fell into the trap myself earlier on of saying, you know, the product, the Golden Visa project, if you like, is over. It's over in the property investment sense, isn't it? And that's been the problem, I think, with the whole controversy around the news and how it was expressed and put in the media. Very much here tonight to present an option that goes beyond real estate investment, and the whole way it's been portrayed has been a little bit unfortunate. So it's good that you're here tonight and explaining this.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of inaccurate press since February. The program's ended. You know, it's all over. And had lots of panic clients, but it's never disappeared. It's just changed slightly. Of course, the minimum investment is increased from 280 to 500 with the removal of property. But is still by far the best program throughout Europe for a number of reasons.
And this is an evolution we're talking about, really, isn't it?
Yeah, good word. Perfect. Yeah, an evolution of the Golden Visa, not a closure. So, as far as who can qualify, so first of all, as long as you don't already have a European passport, you can apply for the Golden Visa. You can also include family on the same application. So with one investment, you can include your partner, you can include your children up to the age of 21 or older if they're still within full-time education. And should you wish them to come with you, you can include your parents as well. And if they're over the age of 65, they're automatically assumed to be dependent. so there's no evidence of dependency required. And yeah, I mean, it's all designed to try and bring 3 generations across to Portugal. And the more people you can get on the same application, the more value for money that you get. And yeah, I did an application count the other week. I think it was a record 13 people. We managed to work out a way to get 13 people on the same application. So
big family,
very big family. We had step parents. We had everyone we could think of on that. So
a very modern family by the sound of it. Yeah,
very modern family indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course everyone gets the benefits of passports. Everyone gets to live in Europe, and everyone can do it on the same application. So yeah, again, any questions on these slides? Drop any questions in the Q&A. We shall come back to them shortly, but hopefully that's straightforward enough. Okay, bit of a busy slide, but in short, this just gives you a bit of an idea what's involved from A to B from now up until when we get the visa. In short, my company and my team looks after the whole process up until 6 years from now when you get your passport. But behind the scenes, we're going to be, first of all, making a recommendation for a suitable investment in line with the investment budget that you have and the type of investment requirements that you have. And once we've come to a decision on that, you'll have us then to set up your Portuguese tax numbers. And we'll also be setting up a Portuguese bank account as well, both of which you need to have before you can submit the application through the fund route. Once we've got all that done in, let's say, 1 to 2 months-ish, we'll be able to submit the application to SEF once we have ownership of the qualifying investment. All of this is done remotely. Okay, you speak with the lawyers, you speak with myself, all through Zoom, very similar to this now. And the first time we need you to physically travel to Portugal is for the biometrics appointment, which will be around about 6 months after the application. And you'll be accompanied again with a member of the team to help on the day with any translation. You'll have a soul-destroying trip to the SEF office. It's never pleasant, but I'm sure you'll know that as well, Carl. But you'll have some company there, and we'll help, of course, get your fingerprints done and your photo as swiftly as possible on the day. And then around about 6 months after that time, we can expect to get the visa, which will look a little bit like this one at the bottom. And it's not actually golden, but yeah, it'll look a little bit like that.
Yeah, but for anyone who's expecting that, it's best to make that clear now, isn't it? It's not literally golden.
I was quite surprised. I was quite disappointed when it wasn't golden. But
sure. Yeah.
But there it is. So that's the plan. That's what we're going for. We try to make it super easy. We're very proactive. Like I say, we have a 100% success rate on all our applications, and we'll be holding your hand right throughout the process until we see you in Portugal in the future. Okay, so from that point, we get the visa. As I mentioned before, the visa then lasts for 2 years. We renew the visa at those intervals. And once we've held the visa for a total of 5 years, on the basis that you have kept a clean criminal record and you have learned a basic level of Portuguese, we can then apply for your permanent residency and, of course, your passport. As I mentioned before, ultimately giving you freedom to all of Europe at that point. And you can, if you do get fed up with Portugal and fancied shipping over to Spain or over to France or Italy, you are free to do however you wish from the point of receiving your citizenship. But Portugal is definitely the best. So I don't think you'll get bored of Portugal, but just in case you did, you've got that option as well. And for those that don't already have a first world passport, it also enables visa-free travel to 187 countries worldwide, which I think you and I take for granted, Carl. And for those that do have a first world passport, but for some nationalities, it's a nightmare just to go on holiday. So again, it can be a big plus.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Okay, but that's the basics of the program. So a quick recap. Takes around about 2 to 4 weeks to submit the application. Around about 12 months to receive the visa. We'll renew after the 2nd year. We'll renew again after the 4th year. And then after year 5 is when we can apply for your passport and permanent residency. Piece of cake. That's it. That's what we do. So I hope that's nice and clear. Again, any questions on the process, please drop in the Q&A and we'll come back to those shortly. And for now, a few things to consider. So in line with, of course, property no longer being on the cards, property is something that we're all very familiar with from a young age. I think naturally have a bit of confidence with. Sometimes it can be nervous when buying in another country, but in the main, property is something that most people understand pretty well. Now, with that coming out of the equation, it's important when you do your research that you do take under consideration some other key points before deciding what type of investment to qualify with. And these are some of the key points I can kind of give you a heads up on to be mindful of. First of all, of course, making sure that you have your capital secure. There are investments that are higher risk than others, and there are providers of certain investments which maybe don't have the right backing or the right stature, but security for capital is always the first thing that I'm asked by my clients. Make sure that you look for the length of time of which, of course, your investment or your money is tied up for. There are some investment funds which tie the money up for 10 years with quite heavy penalties before that if you wish to withdraw. Check fees. Okay, so again, there are funds out there which have entry fees, by way of kind of setup fees, management fees. There can be, I've seen performance fees. I've seen at 40-50%, which is just outrageous. And just be mindful of exit fees as well. When you do want to redeem that capital. Of course, be conscious about the risk rating of any investment. But of course, if you're going down the fund route, make sure you understand the true risk, maybe the industry of which the fund's investing into, and make sure that you're not getting involved with a very volatile, high-risk fund, unless, of course, that's what you wish to do. Of course, the investment returns is important. Also checking, are the returns guaranteed returns? Are they hearsay returns? Are they fixed? Are they variable? All things to be mindful of when looking for the investment. And of course, making sure that it is a regulated fund as well. We're not, you're not, I've seen some wild and wacky investment options, Carl, and some of them scare me. Some of my clients say, hey, have you heard of this program? It's outrageous, some of the things that I've heard of. So just make sure that it is regulated. And if you can, have asset-backed protection as well, which is very rare with investment funds.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple of tips on that point. So as far as what we're putting our stamp to at the moment, here it is. This is a new, I'd say it's a new fund. It's actually not a new fund. It's been out for a few years now. It's been tweaked slightly in line with the new rules. But we are, we're putting our stamp on a fund with a company called Atlantic Premium Capital, and it's a fund that's been around since 2021. And the fund invests into the hospitality, the management of one of our previous developments, actually, which I've talked about before, which is my favorite resort. It's actually a 5-star golf and spa resort on the Silver Coast in Obidos. Well, basically, the fund invests into the company that manages that resort. So there's no property ownership, of course, which has been removed from the criteria. But investing into a fund that invests into the management of commercial property is fine. And again, the fund is fully regulated by the Portuguese Commission. It qualifies under the new rules at 500,000. The fund manager, again, a substantial nature. They have over 200 million euros under management. So this is not kind of a pop-up shop of a new fund. It is a substantial equity partner. And they're offering 32 spaces as part of the funds for the capital that they're looking to raise. There is no entry fees, there's no exit fees, and there's no management fees, which is a big plus. And it is the only fund in Portugal that will pay an upfront return. They pay all the returns upfront for 6 years. And the investment there is property held as collateral for the investment. So you also have asset-backed security. The same, actually better protection for your capital than what you would have if you were buying a property outright, which again is very unique with a fund. And of course, we're happy to talk about the mechanics of it all on a one-to-one basis. But Lots of boxes being ticked with this fund, and in particular, which has been a huge success previously and is, again, one of the first things that I'm requested, is a guaranteed exit. It has although it was a guaranteed buyback for property, this time round it is an exit guarantee where the fund will purchase back those units for a €500,000, which is optional for the investor, along with a couple of other options once the passport has been issued. So as a general overview, the real big headline on this is that the return that the fund will pay, it's a guaranteed return of 101.
Yes.
So 101,000, correct. Paid up front to the investor, and it can be used towards the 500,000 to qualify for the fund. So it's 500,000 needed for the investment fund itself. 101,000 is paid for the returns over the next 6 years, meaning that the investor only needs to free up 399,000 rather than the full 500,000. And it doesn't get much better than paying all the returns up front. And of course, the buyback is guaranteed at 500,000, and that can be triggered from the 6th year. So yeah, we love it. We think it's the best in the marketplace right now. There's nothing out there that offers this level of return and security, and of course those returns up front as well. Now, in short, this is the development. Now, it's not, again, I wanted to show the development because this ultimately is what the hospitality company is, of course, managing. And this is a 5-star resort, which was completed back in 2021. And it's a golf and spa resort. For any golfers out there, it's quite a famous golf, quite famous golf location. But these are, of course, 1-bedroom apartments. This is phase 1. There's 2 other rows that were part of phase 1, which were completed a couple of years back. And now it's phase 2, which is being launched, which is going to be the 32 new apartments, but all golf and sea view facing. And investors actually get a 6-week complimentary stay at this resort. So investors into the fund that we're looking at will get 6 weeks free stay every year, which can be used to maintain your minimum stay requirement in Portugal for your visa as well. So yeah, and that's where it is. So it's a new build resort, as I mentioned. It's about 40 minutes north of Lisbon, and after the 6th year, the investors of the fund have the option to take full deed ownership of one of the apartments there in exchange for the units that they've bought from the fund. So the options really are to take the 500,000 back as cash at that point. You can remain invested in the fund should you wish for up to 10 years, or you can take full deed ownership of a very nice apartment at the Royal Obidos. And of course, it is a particular unit that is held, and that is held as collateral during that 6-year period as well. And yeah, due for completion, 2025, 12 months from now. The 6 weeks stay will be offered from completion, although there will be a couple of weeks available as well for investors next year in phase 1, should they wish. But that's it. That's just a little sneak peek on what we're recommending. And for now, I'm going to give myself a break from talking, Carol. But hopefully that was nice and clear. At this point, we can maybe...
Certainly, yeah. It's a beautiful area. Funny enough, I was there this afternoon. I was walking around Obidos Castle and had a lovely meal in the town. It's a great part. You said you were biased about Portugal and probably the Algarve. I'm biased about the Silver Coast, where that development is. And I have been over that way, and it is a really beautiful part of the world. So there you can see how to get in touch with Jason. Actually, Q&A is quite quiet. We've got one question which we'll come back to, but now's your chance. If you do want to ask any questions about what you've just seen in the presentation there from Jason, do make sure you put your question into the Q&A right now. And jason.swan@holbornassets.com is how to get in touch with Jason. When we were talking recently with Henry, somebody tested the QR code, and you guys, your team have these QR codes on the screen now, which is the easiest way, isn't it? So if you want to hold up your camera to the QR code that you see on the screen before you, that's the quickest way of getting in touch with the team here. And a lot of people seem to like that now. So there you go, jason.swan@holbornassets.com. The first question, you've had a little rest there, Jason. I know you've had a very busy and long day. Can we take this first question from Michelle?
Yeah, so a list of art projects that qualify. It's not something that we really get involved with too much, Michelle. But yeah, I mean, if you, by all means, if you want to drop me an email, I'm sure I can get that sent over for you. Yeah, we can give you an idea of what to expect on that problem.
You'd think that part of the Golden Visa would be artist-led, wouldn't you, with who are coming forward with particular projects? But as you said earlier on, it's not an especially busy part of the proposition right from the get-go with this, was it? I mean, it's not many people have taken up that, if any, have taken up that approach for the Golden Visa, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, no, it's I've barely even been asked a question about it. Funny enough, I mean, it's important to obviously put it out there, so it is a genuine option. But yeah.
So Michelle, if you get in touch with Jason, jason.swan@holbornassets.com, Jason will get back to you with a list to clarify that for you. Another question now from Cherry. Thank you for being here. Thanks everyone for being here this evening. The participants, do get your Q&A questions in right now, if you will, because we will conclude soon. To be clear, says Cherry, or ask Cherry, if you can begin this investment from the United States and use the 6 weeks per year to qualify for the residency requirement. So yeah, I think Cherry was listening closely and has got that right.
Yep, spot on. Yeah, so you can start the application. You can, and that is the big plus point with the Golden Visa. You don't have to be in Portugal full time.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as the application is submitted, yeah, you have immediately access to the like I said, the phase 2 is due for completion in January 2025. It's about 12 months. But during that 12 months time, there will be a few weeks available at phase 1, which is the apartments which I showed on the screen before. And then from the completion of phase 2, yes, 6 weeks full stay every year for each year that you have the visa.
Right. Okay. That would appear to be it. It must have been a very clear presentation there. I suspect everyone knows what they need to know for this evening, Jason.
Just to jump in, Carl, I don't think you've had I don't know if you had a list, but there was quite a lot of questions submitted before with the Zoom registration, so
I don't have my eyes on that. So go ahead. Yeah, please include those for sure. Forgive me.
I've got some quite good questions. From Sahala. Hi, Sahala. If you have a child that's 18, what are the conditions that would allow that child to qualify with parents and siblings? Well, in short, the child just needs to be formally dependent. Sahala, yeah, if your child is 18 and in education, that's fine. Children do need to be dependent at 3 key intervals. The first one is at the application stage, the first renewal and the second renewal. So it's important that your children are going to be in education until the second renewal. If not, they can be enrolled through an online course to help perhaps with the last renewal. But in the main, yeah, as long as they are dependent, then there isn't really any other criteria to pass Sahala.
So dependency is minors, basically under 18s, or those who are in education.
Actually 21, yeah, so anyone under the age of 21 is fine, and older if education.
Yeah, okay, excellent.
Texter, hi Texter, what is the easiest way? Stocks or investment? So yeah, I think they're all equally easy, I suppose. Of course, the fund option is very much hands-off compared to setting up a business or investing into the arts and so on. But yeah, I think maybe the fund option is obviously very hands-off compared to the other routes. Hi there, Cherry. Yeah, Cherry, thank you for your question. Of course, we just answered that now. Who can go on the application? Is it just me? Hi there, Gail. Yeah, so I think we covered that off. Yeah, family members, parents and children, fine. And of course, your spouse. You don't have to be married. As long as you live together, both spouses can be included. Hi there, Serge. My spouse holds a Nigerian passport. Any issues we should be concerned about? I'm Canadian with a green card. No concerns. Portugal is not prejudiced towards Nigerian passport, Serge. No problem at all. Hi there, Lisa. Hope you're well. Hope you and Mimi are well. If I apply for a golden visa today, can I have my parents in 4 or 5 years? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We can do family reunification, Lisa. We can add them later on. No problem.
That's good to know.
So yeah, we're good there. Hi there, Robbie. Would you like to say something about the D7? Not on this particular webinar, because of course it's not the focus for this evening, Robbie, but if you have questions about the D7, drop me an email or book a meeting in and we can go through that as well.
And we've got the Dream Team session as well later on at 9. If you want to join us for that, might be a good opportunity as well. At 9 o'clock on Expats Portugal's YouTube channel.
Yeah, good show. Good show. Please provide step-by-step process for the golden visa application. Yep. Hi there, Kailash. I think we've covered that one now as well. Hi there, Denise. Some details on the kind of external investment options. Yep. So we've and passive income. Yeah. So we've covered that as well. Hi there, Yin. It said 1 week per year plus A2 for application. What do we have? Not too sure what you mean by that question, Ian, but just to clarify, yeah, you only need to be in Portugal for 1 week every year or 2 weeks every 2 years to maintain the visa. And yes, as long as you understand the basic A2 level of Portuguese and you keep a clean criminal record, we will be able to achieve your passport after 5 years as well. And then last one from Perry from before the webinar. Is buying property still an option? No, yeah, we covered that as well. Unfortunately, no more property, Perry. All finished. So yeah, that was all from before. Carl, we've got hi there, Ibrahim. Thanks for your message. Hope you're well. Apologies, I've not messaged. I did put in my diary today to give you a text. I know you're eagerly awaiting the fund information. Can you clarify the costs involved? Yeah, I mean, in short, Ibrahim, as you'll remember, the costs are broke down really into just 2 parts. You pay government fees and you pay legal fees. Holborn don't charge any fees ourselves. We are paid, of course, but we're paid by the provider of the investments. They cover our fees for facilitating the golden visa application. So yes, just legal fees and the government fees. Generally on well, it depends on number of family members to be included, Ibrahim, as far as the legal fees. Government fees are approximately €6,000 per person initially, and you also have to be mindful of the renewal fees at the end of year 2 and the end of year 4 as well. But best thing to do, and same for everyone, again, we would like to go through the costs. I'll actually bring that up on the screen on a one-to-one basis. I'll talk you through everything that's involved and, of course, answer any questions that you have. And yes, send out straight away a personalised cost breakdown, depending on the number of family members that you wish to include. And yeah, what we need to do. I hope that's okay.
That's great. That's for you there, Ibrahim. And yeah, just going back to CEF for a moment there, Jason.
Yeah.
It looks like the new authority, AIMA, which has, of course, replaced CEF in this last week, has hit the ground running. And certainly their impact at the airports has been a positive one. So hopefully that, the spirit of that renewal and that phoenix rising from the ashes of CEF in its new form as AIMA will mean that they will be able to get their act together and get things moving faster. Anything from your end on that change? Yeah,
I mean, we've seen an immediate change, to be fair. I mean, the online system seems much better. The response rate is better. It's a good start. Hopefully we'll see some improvements on the processing plans. So yeah, let's see how we go. But yeah, good work so far.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Okay, so Jason.Swan at holbornassets.com if you want to get in touch with Jason, or use the QR code on the screen at the moment. Any concluding comments, Jason?
No, I don't think so. I just hope that was helpful. Of course, I'll try and keep everyone up to date with any developments. I'll send a copy of the recording out Oh, in fact, no, that'll be on your YouTube channel.
We will have that on our YouTube channel, hopefully by early evening, 6 o'clock on Sunday. So if anybody wants to recap on the presentation that you've seen, it should be on our YouTube channel, Expats Portugal's YouTube channel, 6 o'clock on Sunday evening.
Yeah, on that, yeah, any questions, get in touch, you know where to find me. And yeah, I shall look forward to speaking with everyone soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep an eye on the forum as well, expatsportugal.com/community, and ask questions there. And we can keep you up to date with what's going on with this. Well, let's face it, a fast-moving situation, right, Jason? It's been quite an amazing few months. And hopefully that's all the surprises out the way for now.
Yeah, I think that'll do us for now. We should hopefully, come January, it should just be nice and simple, hopefully.
Yeah, so fingers crossed for that. Thank you so much, Jason. Have a great evening in the south of Portugal. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Gal. Thanks, everyone. Speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.